It's time for the Ella Johnson Show. Thanks for tuning in to the Ella Johnson Show, where there are two sides to every story. Enjoy the broadcast. Stay tuned. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Ella Johnson Show. I know some of you just saw me live from Facebook. That's me going live before the live to let you know I'm going live. Well, this is the real live. This is the Ella Johnson Show, and it's time for our Sunday night broadcast. And you know, these shows on Sundays have been committed to Tee Tunstall because the conversation continues. Now, there are some of you that are just watching me. You may be watching me for the first time. Thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're watching from Facebook, do me a favor and share the broadcast. That's it. Share the broadcast, like the broadcast, go over to YouTube, subscribe to the Ella Johnson Show. You know, all of that helps because we want to make sure that as many people as possible watching these shows, because we're talking about Monroe County. I go live on Thursday nights and Sunday nights now. That is my schedule right now, unless a special broadcast has to be done because we can't do it on those nights. But yeah, I want you guys to just tune in to the broadcast, because on Thursday nights we are in a series titled Monroe County Uncovered. And that series is about what happened with Dr. Barbaretta Turner Pugh being terminated from the Monroe County Board of Education. And there's a whole lot there. So we decided to do a series to just bring evidence to the screen that may or may not happen during her trial and her case. But we just want to be transparent here on the Ella Johnson Show and just bring everything out that's available to you. But I want to make sure that you guys know that you get these comments. They come under the screen like this, and I will bring them on the broadcast for you, right? So if you want to leave a question or a comment or whatever you want to say, you can drop it there and it will come on the screen just like that. Okay, so I appreciate you guys. I see you, Emmanuel. Emmanuel is one of the young men who has been a strong force for me in Liberia, Africa, who is one of my volunteers when we do events there. So I see you up. I know it's got to be late over there, but thank you. Thank you so much, Emmanuel, for tuning in. So I want to let you guys understand that what this show is about tonight. We're going to talk about Tee Tunstall, obviously, but we're going to recap last week because Selena Thomas, you know, you saw her in the video with WKRG and Fox 10. You know, she was his cousin and she had a lot to say. Well, we interviewed her last week. If you guys missed that broadcast, I would encourage you to please go back and take a look at it. You know, we learned a lot, but we're going to recap. And then Stephen is going to come in tonight. Hopefully, I don't know what happened, but he was here with us a minute ago. But he's going to be here tonight to share some information with you about a case that happened years ago and how this can potentially turn into a pattern that's going on in Monroe County. I mean, we've seen some things that may not have, you know, passed the smell test in Monroe, if you will, but it continues, you know, and that's what a pattern is. And until we stop it, until we finally say, listen, enough is enough, I mean, like really mean it, it will continue. So he's going to come on tonight and share some of that with us for the broadcast. But hold on one second. Let me see what's going on. Guys, just give me just a second because this is him. Stephen, where are you? Go to the street. See, this is Stephen. I didn't. Okay. All right. I got you. Hold on. So sorry, guys. Listen, y'all know how things are on live TV. Y'all just give me a second. Just give me just a little second. That's it. Let's see here. I have to do this. I'm going to I'm so sorry. So sorry here. Oh my goodness. Okay. I am going to drop it here. Hopefully he'll see it. It's in the show, Stephen. It's in the show. Now I put it here for him, guys, but this is for anyone. If any of you, watching this podcast and you're like, man, I sure wish I could get on there and say something. Guess what? I just dropped it in the link here. This is the same link I'm sending him. Any of you are invited to this broadcast. If you feel like there's something you would like to say, you click on and you're going to get into my studio and you could be here on the broadcast as well. So I'm going to have to Stephen. Because we definitely want to hear from him tonight, right, guys? That's one of the things that's very important tonight. So let me make sure I get that done real quick, and then we can move on. So what I want you guys to know about tonight's broadcast. I want to recap what Selena said last week. She gave us some nuggets. I think some of these nuggets are going to be good for moving forward in this case and for anyone that wants to know what's really going on here. So here he is. Man, you got me sweating over here.
Well, when you said 7 o'clock CST, it's 7 o'clock our time. I was getting ready.
7 o'clock Eastern. Did I say CST?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Listen, that's okay. All that matters is you're here. Isn't that right, guys? All that matters is it's here. Listen, I appreciate you, Stephen, because we're gonna have a conversation tonight that I think that is gonna make people start to really understand what this is all about. Right now, good evening. We aren't just talking about Ammarin Tee Tunstall, though. We're talking about the cracks in the foundation of this entire community.
Correct.
What we've uncovered in T's case, the silence, the procedural failures, and the disregard for human life, well, that isn't an isolated incident. Y'all going to find that tonight. Right. It's a pattern.
It's definitely a pattern.
When we look at what happened on Marengo Street, we're seeing a mirror. That's right. Held up to a system that counts on us to stay quiet. Said that earlier. It's depending on that. This goes much deeper than one name. It's about systemic neglect, buried truths, and the uncomfortable reality of what lies beneath the surface of our local institutions. Y'all got to wake up. Tonight, we stop looking at just the headlines. Forget about that. We start unmasking the system. The system. Remember that. The system that allowed this to happen in the first place. Welcome to the Ella Johnson Show, Stephen. So glad to have you.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure.
I know, right? We have a good time. Listen, guys, y'all know we don't just talk on here. We
real talk
here. Yeah.
Real
we
talk.
We have to be able to bring these shows to you.
Real talk Stephen, with Ella Johnson.
You know that's the truth. Real talk with Ella Johnson. I love it. Listen, Stephen, can you do me a favor and bring your camera up, because I have this Justice for Tee Tunstall down there, and I want to make sure we get all of you, right?
Is that a little better?
Bring your camera down some so we can see more. I need your head at the top. I need your head level with my head.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, you caught me setting everything up, and I got a call saying that you were trying to get a hold of me, and I was trimming my little whiskers here.
I said, what? I didn't know if they'd come for you. I didn't know if the bad boys had come for you.
No, not yet. Not yet. They better stay in their lane.
I'm just saying, that was probably too soon. Bad joke. But anyway, guys, I want y'all to welcome. Before we get started, I just want to thank you guys. I really, really do, because so many people have been supportive of what we're doing, Stephen. I was just looking at a message right before we went live of somebody telling me that there's something we need to look into in Frisco about, and they wanted me to ask you if you
Sure.
had heard about a woman being dragged in Frisco out of her apartment.
I did not. I heard. We were speaking about that a little bit briefly. No. That was the other person. We've had so many people coming into. No, I don't know too much about that, but I'm sure I can go. Shake some
We're
branches
gonna
and
find
find
out.
out.
Yeah, we're gonna find out. Listen, guys, that's what we're doing here. Some
That's.
people may
I'll
call it.
say this much. That's
Yeah.
normally not a thing in Frisco. I mean, I know Sergeant Horn wouldn't be dragging anybody.
Well,
But if he
okay.
did, I'm gonna be really disappointed in him. That's for sure. And I won't. You already know how I get down. I don't care who it is. If there's something that needs to be addressed, I'm going to address it.
I wouldn't expect any less. So let's talk about Selena, because Selena dropped some nuggets on us last week. Now, for those of you that are watching this for the first time, you're like, let me see what Ella Johnson is all about. I've heard people talking about, this and this and that. Well, what we're talking about is Tee Tunstall. And if you're not familiar with that, back on March 30th, there was a video that went viral on the internet, and it was him being dragged by the Monroeville Police Department. Now, I agree there should be more outrage about it, but it's a little quiet in Monroeville. It's a little quiet, but
It
I'm
always has been.
assuming that's going to change soon, right, Stephen?
Yeah, I would definitely hope so. I mean, especially when
Yeah.
the SBI report and the autopsy comes back, I think that it's going to be a big eye opener. Because I mean, no matter and where I stand on this, it's not going to matter how that report comes back. What those officers did, all right, to Mr. Tunstall is completely despicable and so outside of the character of law and policy and procedure that you can't shake a stick at it.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a problem with, because you know what, if I were one of those people that were a betting person, and I'm not, I would say that Monroeville wants to end this, Stephen. I think they want this to go away.
Yeah, it's not going away.
No, I think they want to just maybe, what if they came and said, hey, we'll pay the family, take this, let's say they threw $20,000 out there. Let's take $20,000 and let's make this go away. I would
Yeah,
laugh at that too, but I'm just saying.
no, no. This is something that's not getting washed under the carpet for 20 grand. I mean, you're talking about the lawsuit and the amount of money. All right, I'm just talking about in law, in civil suits, and things that have come to pass. I mean, these particular type of cases. I mean, they pay out big money, and in order for something like this to go away, for one, no one's going to accept small potatoes. All right, if someone came and let me just say objectively, I said that I butchered that objectively. Let's say that this is normally how this would go. The family's going to sue the city. They're going to get the case going, get their case number, and they'll offer them, a substantial amount of money in settlement and try to settle it out. And with that settlement, it's going to come an NDA, a non-disclosure. And if I had to take any guess, this case could never in a million years settle for less than several $1,000,000. And we all know that the Monroeville, well, they'll roll the dice. See, they think that they have everything fixed all the way up the ladder. They can do whatever they want. All right. They would never settle, all right, a case of this magnitude because they will literally fight it. So whatever comes on next, I am betting on the fight. I believe that this is going to go. I really hate this camera. I got to get a new camera. I'm sorry. But
Okay.
if I'm a betting man, I really have to believe that we're going to see this make front page news, and not just our little front page news. I mean, I really do believe that this is going to come national broadcast news.
It should. It should. I like what James Fleet says. He says, I'm so sorry to hear that. Thank you for getting this out there. Yes, it will change soon. I really believe you. That's the goal, for it to go away. Once all the evidence is back, you go hard and we get this story out there. Absolutely. Listen, we already said what we're ready to do, right, Stephen?
Already.
We ready.
I mean, we're already amassing a quiet army behind us that no one knows of.
So, he says the family needs legal advice immediately, if not already. No, they have attorneys, so
They
they're
have
good on
attorneys.
that. Thank God, they do have attorneys. So let's just kind of bring everybody up to speed, Stephen, about T. Tunstall, because you know when I saw the dragon video, I was appalled.
I was
I
too.
was angry. I was sad. I was disappointed. I mean, I can just give you all the adjectives that I was feeling that day.
It brought a lot up inside myself too. Trust me.
Yeah, because it made me go back. I don't know what it did for you, but it made me think about Johnny D. It made me think about Walter Lett. It made me think about all of the injustices that have happened in Monroeville that just kind of get swept under the rug. For crying out loud, we did a movie, Just Mercy, to highlight one of the issues that happened in Monroeville, and nothing really changed with it. I don't know if they apologized. They didn't even try to go after the real killer. It just died.
And
You know?
that was a really big problem that I had with the movie is they did not address the real killers or even highlight the actual real killers at all. And when my wife and I watched that movie several times back to back to really nitpick it, and that was a really our mouths just kept dropping when we're watching some of the real case footage and whatnot, and the people's names that are coming up. Because we're like, oh, we went against that guy. That guy tried to set us up. But let's take the ahas out of it. The problem that movie really had is it did not address, or even shine a pen light, let alone a spotlight on, well, who really killed her and why.
Circumstantial Evidence, the book, because I actually interviewed the author here on the Ella Johnson show. It looks like at the end they were told who to kind of go after. The Monroeville, whoever was handling this case, was told who to go after, but they didn't. They just
Correct.
dropped it. Yeah. So
just like they do so many things.
Absolutely. James says, we will get this out there. I have a pretty large platform. Hopefully I can help in any. James, yes. Let's talk. Let's talk. Like, seriously. If you want, come on the broadcast. I'm telling you right now.
Send him a Steam Deck link.
I definitely want to talk to you, James, because listen, my goal always has been, this is bigger than me. This is bigger than the Ella Johnson show. This is bigger than Steven. We are trying to do something in Monroeville that needs to be done. Okay? It needs to be looked at. People need to stop. Because, see, I think the part that gets me upset about all this is that we glorify this To Kill a Mockingbird. And then stuff like this, we just
continues to happen. And it doesn't stop. It just keeps happening. It's a revolving door. All right, there's so many To Kill a Mockingbird books that can be wrote out of this town, let alone my own story. All right, that's why I personally, I may be speaking out, the wrong way here, but in certain circles, all right, there's some pretty racy people around here still, and I went down.
Racy, do you mean racist?
Yes, there's still racy people here.
Oh, okay.
I bump into them every now and then, and we really don't get along, but that's neither here nor there. And I call them out for it every now and then. I'm not going to say any names on this show, but there was an individual here as of late, a couple of weeks ago, that spoke out of Mr. Tunstall's name, and I about slapped him.
What did he say?
You could take a guess.
No, I want to hear it.
He called him the N-word, and he got dragged like a dead dog, like he should. And, well, me and that person are no longer friends, and I told him some real things that he needed to hear. I'll just say that much, all right? A long-time friendship that I've had for over 18 years. And me and that individual are no longer friends, ever, and will never be again.
James says, yes, DM me. Seriously, I'm on vacation, but yes, we need to talk. I've appreciated your work and you sharing my posts all the way over here in Conroe, Texas. I can promise you T will get justice. Message me after this. What does worry me is I live in a very racist town, so people will get on me for sure. Welcome to the crowd. Welcome to the club, brother.
Monroeville.
Thank you so much, James. Thank you so much. I am definitely, as soon as the show is over, I'm going to inbox you so we can talk. So let's recap last week with Selena. She was here. There's some
Yeah,
things she
that
said.
was a really good broadcast. That was an excellent broadcast. She brought a
Oh,
lot of things, timelines, and sets of events that the video just can't do justice on.
it answers some questions, because one of the things I wanted to know was what was the mindset of the officers, because then that can lead to intent.
It
Like
does.
what, you know what I'm saying?
It
So it
does.
sounds like they were pissed. They had an attitude.
They did. They
So
completely.
if they came out there with that kind of attitude, Stephen, is it easy enough to believe they probably tased him?
I mean, yeah. I mean, they got a knack for wanting to tase people. I mean, they've tased me a few times. They attempted to tase my wife for literally nothing. I mean, there's been they're very happy with their tasers. They like to, oh, I'm the big boss. You're gonna do what I say. And if you try to argue with them, or even just try to, I'll say this much: just try to have a subjective and objective conversation with them about whatever the incursion or the encounter is. They reach straight for their taser and they want to tase you with it. I mean, I got tased in the Sally Port by Officer Gibson. In the Sally Port, he tried to hide it, all right, and stuck it up underneath my rib cage where the camera couldn't see, and started hitting me with it. And I just put my hand on the car and I looked back at him and I said, "Are you tasing me for real, dude?" And we was just walking up to the Sally Port. He wanted to get that last little, all right, out of me, and hoping that I would cause a scene on camera, but I didn't. I've been, I play with high voltage and and very dangerous things in my profession. And I'm going to tell you right now, tasers don't faze me. They just piss me off. And when he did that in the Sally Port, that man did that trying to get a reaction out of me because he knew it's going to make me want to fight. It's not going to put me down. I was just simply walking toward the Sally to the in booking door, and all it was a Pat Bowen ticket. All right. I didn't pay enough money on my last traffic ticket fine. So they put a warrant out for my arrest. And as I'm getting out of his car and walking to the back, he stuck the taser right up underneath my rib cage and zapped me with it.
So that's crazy. That's ridiculous. But let's get back to T. T that day. So she left us with some nuggets that we can go by. One was the attitude of the officers. Here they are making statements like, I guess he wants to go back to the mental ward, or
Yeah.
if he gets a call, because she's like, can you tell him to call me? If he gets a call, if he keeps acting like an ass. Like,
Yeah, and you're
really?
afforded a phone call to your family or counsel. That's the whole reason why you get a phone call. You can't deny. And I'm going to tell you this much: back in the day, now the sheriffs won't play that. They'll give you a call, but them MPD cops, oh no, they don't want you calling anybody. All right, they use that as a tool. Oh well, you're going to comply and you're going to do exactly what I say and dance my tune the way I'm going to, or you're not going to get any of your civil liberties.
Wow. Another thing she brought out was the time that was wasted. Now, we are not doctors and we're not medical examiners, and I'm not looking at the autopsy, but I can make a safe guesstimate here that if they were waiting, it costs time for T to save
Oh,
his life.
oh, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
we beat that skin until we beat a hole in it. And I just reskinned it. We're ready to jam on it again. All right. When you're having a medical emergency, no matter what the emergency is, man, statistics prove that every minute counts against your life. All right, against your life, not for you. All right. So when you're en route going to emergency hospital care, now the minutes are actually ticking for you because you're with qualified personal medical care. All right. But every minute that goes by that you don't get the help that you need, all right, from a doctor or a trained medical staff, man, your counts of survival drastically lower.
Uh-huh. Sharon, thank you so much. Sharon is the mother of T. Tunstall, and she's telling us thanks. And for everyone that's continuing to cover this story, she's very grateful, guys. I talk to her a lot, and she's overwhelmed with the support. So we just need more, guys. We got to keep digging in here. We need this to get out
And
everywhere.
she needs it. She needs it.
We need these 1,000 signatures over at change.org. Guys, we're going to continue to post that. Just sign it because we need oversight. We got so much. That's why we keep bringing all these shows to you so you can see that this didn't just happen to T. And we're going to talk about one tonight. But I don't know how many you're getting, Stephen, but I know I'm getting inbox messages of people like, oh, look, this is what happened by A, B, C, and D. Here's the pic. I mean, they're even getting wise to getting pictures and getting their evidence up front. I'm telling you, if you are experiencing something with the police, the best time to get all of your evidence is like right then. What people are saying. I mean, they even went so far as got eyewitnesses to send me a voice message. This is what I'm talking about in Monroeville. And for what I understand, these same cops that were in the Tee Tunstall video, they're still out here wilding out.
Yep. Still violating our civil liberties. And we'll get into that in one of the next coming episodes, I'm sure.
So why in the world would Mayor Andrews put these fellas back out on the beat?
That's there's a lot of questions in that department that I'm sure that we're going to cover in a little while.
James is making a promise to Sharon, saying, "I am so sorry, ma'am. Promise I will get this story out as much as I can." Oh, see, this is what I'm.
Just the fact that you're watching us on vacation says a lot, buddy. Man, thank you so much. You,
I don't know how you heard about the Ella Johnson show, but thank you.
I told you we've made waves people in California have been hitting up friends.
Wait a minute, I can get y'all evidence you need paperwork wise. This is what. Oh yes. I might call you before the show is over.
God works in mysterious ways.
Listen, that's what I'm saying. To God be all the glory, guys.
And that's what all y'all out there watching this. See, people like this, there's so many people that have come to us with wrongs and injustice and things that are going on. All right, but this show keeps a spotlight on everything that's going on here. And it brings people out the woodwork. It has a platform. It has a network. All right, like speakeasy clubs back in the day, they weren't advertised. All right, you got told word of mouth where to go. And I've already gotten phone calls, like literal phone calls from people like, "Oh man, my cousin out in California called me up because she saw the Ella Johnson show and seen you," and was like, "What in the hell is going on down there?"
So I'm glad that he said that about the FOIAs and TPAs, because here's the thing. There are people in Monroeville who are trying to get the police manual, because we need to see, and it's public record. So I don't know why it's a problem. City clerks in Monroeville. Yeah, we know that you guys are
Pat Bowen. I'll say your name, Pat Bowen. How you doing, Pat?
Okay, you're sending people to tell you why they need it. They don't have to tell you why they need it for.
Yeah, they don't.
They're right to have it. This is the kind of stuff we're dealing with, though, James. Trying to get information in Monroeville, look, stuff like that, because he says I can get. That's what I'm talking about. Look at God. God does answer prayers. My goodness.
Yeah, we need it, because I've used a couple of people that I know in different ways, and me and you've talked on the phone. You know, I'm not going to say anything more on video with this on this aspect of it, but we both have, and we've gotten zero but a bunch of excuses.
Well, I knew they were going to give it to me. They wouldn't even say anything nice to me. They just said, "Hold on," and hung up.
Well, I've had to try to use people myself because I can't go up there either. All right. I mean, they hate me up there.
Well, listen, but the one thing for sure is that there are some people that do know how to get it done. And for that, we're grateful, because we want to look at that. And let me tell you why we need to see that, because we need to know, did y'all break your own rules?
Right.
Did you break your own rules? Because that's going to be key. That's going to be key. So the other thing that she did, lack of concern that they showed. The lack of concern that they showed, which we could see it anyway, but she went a step further by saying how they hurried up and put him in the back seat face down. See, a lot of people miss that part, but that's crucial.
Oh, no, that's a big deal, because that violates insurance. Dude, that violates insurance protocol right off the rip. You got to keep that. All right. All right. Well, I mean, I'm not an insurance underwriter, but I've worked with insurance companies on many different things. All right. Whenever you have, that's why we have laws. You have to have a seatbelt on, all right, because in case you get in an accident. You realize that if you don't have your seatbelt on and you get a specific type of injury, all right, that would have been prohibited, all right, or not, or wouldn't have been as bad as what it was if you were to have had your seatbelt on, all right, your insurance policy is going to restrict funds, all right, number one. Number two, as a police officer, all right, and you're transporting people of the public inside your city cruiser, you're still out on city, county, and state highways, all right, the chances of an accident, all right, are just as high as what you are as a civilian. All right. And they are trained. Well, they're supposed to be trained. That's why you see a lot of jurisdictions, they have the seatbelt already clipped over and their seats are formed to the occupant, to the people they're putting in the cage. So that way, when they first get put into it, number one, they can't slide across the back seat. They're nestled into a little crook. All right. And the seatbelt is already in a keeper position to make it easier and aid the officers to be able to put the restraint belt back across them. If they're built that way, just so you, because you're supposed to, all right, have a seatbelt on the occupants that you're arresting and transporting in your city vehicles, state vehicles. It doesn't matter what agency. I mean, pick one. All right. But anytime that you place an occupant, all right, that you're arresting with their hands behind their back, they need to have their seatbelt on, point blank. And as we could tell in the video, well, that was completely disregarded. They didn't even give a crap about that either.
Yeah, I listen, from the beginning of this conversation about tea, what have I always said? Nobody gets a pass. For me, it is, I want answers from every single agency.
I want to see that video.
That was involved. I don't care who it is. I don't care who it is.
DM me that video, Mr. Freer. I want to see that.
I recently videoed a dirty, nasty, rude officer. I showed it a boat riding cows. He has no place as an officer, him and his partner. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about, okay? People should not be treated this way that are citizens of Monroeville, Alabama, Monroe County, whatever you want to be. This is just unheard of. This is unheard of. This is what I'm glad, though, Adrian. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Definitely want to see it. Send it.
Inbox me. Let's chat. Let's chat. I want to chat with you too. Nobody gets a pass. If you're doing wrong out there and it comes across me, we're going to talk about it.
Because who's watching the watchers? Obviously, we're the ones are. That's sad.
God does answer. I randomly clicked on this, and now I'm going to make that city lawyer shake. I promise.
Yeah, Chipper, by the way, his name is Chipper Hare. The magistrate is Pat Bowen. That's her first name, Pat, last name Bowen. That's a city magistrate. And they all hide behind Chipper Hare because Chipper Hare is the city attorney and he drafts all their policies and procedures, which I'm kind of still interested, as you are, to see that handbook on policies and procedures that he himself would have sworn and signed off on that we have yet to get.
This makes me very emotional, guys, because, yeah.
That's Chipper Hare is the city attorney. I've quit smoking. I haven't bought a pack of cigarettes in 2 months. I switched to these things. I'm sorry I'm smoking them, but I get amped up. But Chipper Hare is the city attorney. Pat Bowen is a magistrate. And Mayor, what's Mayor's first name? What's his first name? Charles Andrews is our mayor. There you go. There's some names to get started with.
Well, we'll get it to him. We'll start a chat between the three of us, and let's put him in contact with the people that we know he needs to also be in contact with. I don't want to say that here, but yeah, we're thank you so much. I can't tell you thank you enough, James. God gets all the credit. Thank you so much. I'm choked up, bro, because this kind of stuff really. This is what we pray about. She said, I can't pass it, but it is a progress in work. Okay. Let's chat, though, Adrian. I want to know more information about what happened to you. And that goes for anybody. Chipper Harris.
Chipper Hare, like the rabbit that runs away from us every time we try to talk to him. His last name is Hare, like the rabbit. Chipper Hare.
H-A-I-R-E, yes?
H-A-I-R-E, yes. Chipper Hare. Okay.
Pat Bowen, city attorney. Chipper Harris, city attorney. Pat Bowen. Charles Andrews, got it.
Pat Bowen is
Mandy Armstrong
Mandy Armstrong is the chief of police. Mandy Armstrong. And Pat Bowen is not an attorney. She wishes she could be. She never will because she lacks the luster. And but she's the magistrate.
She's the magistrate. Okay.
Yeah, she's the blocker in chief.
Mandee Armstrong. That's it. All right, here. Got it. That's it. Thank you, James. So when at the end of the day, when she finished, we learned some stuff. Now, we've been learning a lot about this. But guys, what I want to talk about tonight are the patterns. Because this is not isolated. These things happen in Monroeville, that stuff happens.
A lot.
Get swept under the rug.
Shoot, as we're making these videos, it's happening every day.
Yeah.
Recently, as of now.
I know. This is Armstrong Mandee, Mandee, his first name. What's funny is that the ones that are coming to us now, I am so glad that you guys are bold and that you're just reaching out. This is exactly now the people that you elected should be listening to this and taking your concerns. But if they don't, we will, right, Stephen? This is what we're going to do. We're going to show them how to treat their citizens. So
it's just like
concerns. Go ahead.
I just had a woman reach out to me the other day that one side of the family is trying to steal this wounded veterans benefits and funds, and they're forging doctor signatures. All right, they're trying to file certain things in probate court, and then they're just mysteriously disappearing. All right, out of their clerk's division from over there, and I had to refer them to a slew of military contacts that I have at my disposal, because you don't get to when you attack the military or anyone, any veteran, any person of armed services, you attack them all. All right, and the fact that this man is dying, all right, and he has a lot of debilitating medical conditions, PTSD being one of them mentally, all right, and the fact that, some evil aunt out there on the sideline is doing nothing but trying to leave his wife destitute with nothing, which, by the way, the woman became a certified nurse, registered just to be able to take care of his in hospice for her husband. And, well, I mean, the man doesn't have a whole lot of money, but he does have benefit. And there are spousal benefits. And unfortunately, the other side of the family, one of the aunts, this isn't the first one she's done this to, from what I've been told. And again, I'm only on the sideline looking in. I'm not in the middle of it. But I was reached out to and was asked, for this, that, and the other. And I just got a DM. That might even be her.
James,
but go on, Ellen.
Oh, man, y'all found the right guy. When this is over, look at my profile. God works in mysterious. He does. And listen, he hears the prayers of the righteous. And I believe that there are people that have been on their knees, have stayed on their knees. There are people that have wanted these shows to end. Why y'all keep talking about it? What there's the wait for the evidence. Well, we didn't do any of that. Okay. I don't see anybody telling Charles Andrews to wait for the evidence, because he put these people, these officers, back to work. So they're now causing trouble with you guys. And he didn't wait for the investigation to see if they were trifling or not. He just put them back in there. So if we're going to get mad about somebody getting back involved before the case is over, that's where the anger should be. Not because we're talking about it, because we are going to continue talking about it. We're definitely, as long as I know it's still helping people and people are still getting help by what we're doing, that's all that matters to me. So thank you, James. I appreciate you. God bless your heart. God bless your heart, for real. Makes me emotional. Makes me emotional too. I'm sitting up here, I won't cry though, because I don't want my lashes to come off. Right? Because if they get wet, they're coming off. But thank you so much. I appreciate it. So what we're going to talk about tonight, like I said,
Miss Davison, and she has sent several people to the Bar Association, and my buddy David Steele's in the middle of that one too, trying to steal his VA check. There's also that too.
All right. So one of the things back in 2022, there was a man by the name of Wesley Dozier that was found dead in Monroeville. And that case, I mean, for someone that was so prominent as he was, for it to just be swept under the rug, it leaves us a little concerned. So I don't want to go into too much detail, Stephen, tonight about this, but I do want you to tell everybody, just give us a summary of what happened and how these players that are involved now were involved in.
Well, this man was more than prominent. He was the last in a heir of lineage from direct family members, and he controls 10,000. Well, he did, bless his heart, he's gone, but he controlled 10,000 acres of woodland tract land and manages close to $30 million worth of in and out funds out through the various businesses that he has and the logging runs. And this is actually the will contest over the man's death from one side of the family that is contesting the will that he had behind is one side of the family. And I was actually in court, and this was public, it's not sealed. I was in court for my mortgage case, and I'm fighting a mortgage company, and I actually got to get a decent earful of some of the, the thefts that were going on already while the man is dead. There's a lot of hinkiness that's went on with this man, and for one, it was ruled as a suicide. And I'll tell you right now, with all the people that I've spoke to that would know, I'm not just talking to strangers on the street. I'm talking to many different people, not just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. All right, many different people, and ex-law enforcement, you name it. All right, people that were even close to it in the law enforcement side. And I'm going to tell you right now, from what I've been told. All right, and just I watch a lot of murder mysteries. Don't get me wrong, me and my wife do. We call it murder porn, and we watch a lot of it. The fact that he was listed as a suicide, and it was really quick swept out underneath the rug by Mayor Andrews, Mandy, Brian House, and Ray Sellers. They were all on scene. I mean, they were on the front page of the paper on scene, so they can't say that, they didn't see all the details of it. All right. The man was found at his back door, all right, a bloody mess, and they say he committed suicide. And for someone to have commanded that much power, that much wealth, and is already suing several high-profile entities over the tune of tens of millions of dollars, to be mysteriously wound up dead in his back door and he's ruled as a suicide, that's a really big question. And now we're to laminate to the players involved. You look at Mayor Andrews, all right, and then Mandy Armstrong, all right, for you to, within a week, I'm going to say 10 days, because I followed it for a while. I actually was behind a couple of attorneys from the estate that viewed the man's body at the subway, and they were chatting amongst themselves, whispering, and my little radar dishes picked up. I'm like, oh, yeah, well, because the murder happened right down the street from my house. Well, excuse me, suicide. Okay. All right. And the fact that Mayor Andrews, all right, and Mandy Armstrong and the 2 investigators on scene, Ray Sellers and Brian House, all 4 of them together unanimously came out within just a few days. Oh, well, it was a suicide. No harm, no foul play. And poof, it's all gone, not to be spoke of again. All right, for someone to have that large of a chunk out of the Tri-County area and business and money, and he's the sole one out of a family enterprise left, when with a little bit more of the digging that I've went down through, there's questionable other suicides and deaths and mysterious accidents that happened with other people inside this man's family and the people surrounding this whole event. For Mayor Andrews and Chief Mandy and Brian House to just go, oh, well, this was a suicide, nothing to see here. All right. You don't stab yourself in the neck this deep and then wring it all the way around to the other side of your head. All right. Not only that, all right, the man was extremely squeamish. He didn't even like to give blood. He couldn't stand the sight of blood. And the fact that he was found over at his back door, which was his main entry, by the way, he used the back door, which the place used to be a business. It was an optometrist clinic for your eyes. And it would be natural that, the back door was what converted as your main entry into the home. Well, I'm just going to tell you straight up, if I'm going to commit suicide and all the other suicides I've seen before and the slews of things that I've researched and, looked at, you don't go and do that violently right at your back door. All right. That's something that you go in your bathtub, you go on your easy chair, you go into your bed. And, and most people still appreciate their things in their death, and they don't want to make a mess of it. All right. So for the fact that, number one, the violence of the wound and how deep and far across it was, listen, I wouldn't have been able to just even get it in that far, let alone that far, and wring it all the way up. From what one of the people that I spoke to, all right, that seen some things, and from what I also heard directly with my own ears from the people that saw the body, all right, at the morgue, because I listened to what they said. I was just getting a sandwich. It was just happenstance that I bumped into the people, and to hear them talk about the graphicness of his death really leads me to believe, okay, there's something a whole lot bigger, all right, and something I personally think is nefarious and treacherous, all right, there's rumors that there were hired killers. And see, the thing is that this isn't something that I'm just saying now. The majority of this county and anybody that knows anything has been questioning this man's death for years now. And it's all been crickets, mum's the word. And you and I are so used to the crickets. We're so used to that non-transparency, not hearing anything. So how does a man, all right, that was this wealthy, was all, oh, and by the way, he already had several reports out that he was being stalked, all right, and there were vehicles following him, all right, that were made into Chief Mandy, all right. So, you know, the fact that there were prior calls out, all right, that the man was in fear of his life to the Monroeville Police Department, and then not more than less than a week later, he's found dead at his back door with very egregious, man, violent wounds, and then you're going to tell me that he committed suicide? No,
So
that man didn't commit suicide. He was murdered. And why would Mandy and everyone else want to cover that up is what I'm getting at.
Okay. We have a question. James says, who do you think the assailant is? Who had motive? And then he also said, be careful how you word it. So who do you think did this?
Well, there's people on the other side of the estate from, you know, what we would call in the heir world, laughing heirs, second cousins, aunts, nephews. There's a lot of other players that are involved in this. And right now, I can't say too much more than what I know. And I have to leave it at that. There's a lot of names, and there's a lot of look. There's attorneys agents. There's attorneys firms, local and in Thomasville and Wilcox County, that are all surrounded on this and have an extreme amount of money and built up an equity in this man's lands and trusts. For instance, one of them, the reason why he came back to Monroeville is he had a trust account set up for him by his dad when he was 19, and it had a lot of money in it. And it's been sitting there cooking, gaining interest, and being managed by a local outfit here in town that I'm not going to name right now. All right. And we're talking about millions and millions of dollars. Well, the money's not there. All right. And everyone's pussyfooting around where his money's at. And from what I gather, he was about to file a lot of lawsuits concerning all this money that went missing. And within the week that all this started exploding, now he's being followed. There's police reports being written for stalking and questionable vehicles parked out around his house and following around where he goes. And now he's dead under extremely weird circumstances. And the fact that this man was as powerful as what he was for the Monroeville media, our newspaper here, and then Mandy and Mayor Andrews to completely real quick, like a lightning strike, suicide, nothing to see, nothing to hear, go on about your business, nothing happened. All right.
But if it's ruled a suicide, that comes from the examiner, the medical examiner, yes?
Yeah, it was done by the coroner at the hospital, which supposedly, and I'm not going to get in on this show. This is going to take a whole nother show to do. But apparently there's some hinkiness that's went on around this man's body and the people that were hired in different places to kind of help clean it up.
So that is going to require a lot of proof to be able to prove.
And I can't prove any of it. I'm just a talking head on your show. Yeah. I can only go on what I've researched, the many of people that I've talked to. And now keep in mind, and I'll say this one more time, the people that I do talk to, they're not nobodies. All right. They're not just some guy down the street or my next door neighbor that heard from somebody. Right. The people that I associate with, know certain things, and I trust what they tell me.
Now, the people that are involved in Tee Tunstall, I want to know what they did in this equates what they did with T.
And that's why I'm really bringing this up. All right. With Wesley Hines' death is then there's mine too, how the cover up they did with me. All right. And then Tunstall, you have a bunch of their officers that completely violated this man's rights. They died in their care. They didn't give him any care. All right. And those are all people that have their marching orders from Mayor Andrews and Mandy Armstrong. All right. And the fact that there's this extremely questionable death that the entire county has always questioned, not just me, have always wondered how did that man get ruled a suicide? Why would Mandy and the investigators that had charge along with our Mayor Andrews say real quick that it was just nothing to see here, the man killed himself, that's it, and we don't hear nothing about it again? When so many people have no, we've heard that, this man was killed by two people down over deep off in Marengo Street. there was a hit out on this man and other people around this whole estate, and now they just start dropping dead under mysterious reasons. This is a case that brings the people that we're dealing with Tunstall directly in center stage, because if you could cover up a death for your officers, all right, what else have you covered up? All right, it's very apparent to me, and in my opinion, it's just my opinion, I'm entitled to it, this is a free country, I believe that there's some extremely hinky things that Mayor Andrews, Mandy, Brian House, possibly, maybe, say it that way, conspired because maybe they were paid, maybe they were incentivized, all right, to just real quick sweep this underneath the carpet. There's a lot more money at stake that matters than you. Maybe their lives were challenged. Who knows? We'll never know. But the fact that we have a very extremely high profile, multi-million, 1/10 of $1 billion estate that has 30 million going in and out of it, man dies, and the same people that are involved with our cops and the cover up with Tunstall, well, tomato, tomato. Which one is it? It's the same thing to me. If you got that, if you could do that to that, and you could do this to that, man, that sounds pretty close together, that you guys just have a knack for covering shit up that you know that you shouldn't. Are you compromised? All right. Are you doing deals that you shouldn't be doing with people you shouldn't? Are you taking money that you shouldn't? That's why we have no internal affairs here. There is no oversight body that watches these cops here. All right. There's no oversight body or ethics commissions or let alone the water commission for the state of Alabama. They all have their districts. The Monroe County is a black hole of oversight. And I learned this on my trip speaking to the lieutenant governor and all the ethics bureaus up at the Capitol when I made my trip. For some reason, Monroe County is a black hole. No one watches what these people do. And I've always wondered, what could be the reason that every other county in the state of Alabama has oversight, has some type of body, a water board, or the water commission, the magistrate ethics commission, the funeral commission, all right, the internal affairs. Why is it that here in Monroe County, out of all the other counties in this state, it's a black hole? No one watches what any of these people do. That's why me and you are on this show talking about it now.
So let's talk about something, because I want James to understand so we don't forget. I had the Alabama representative here on the show, Thomas Jackson. Do you remember that show? You weren't on here with me, but he was on the show, and he talked about how, because you'll see, if you go back to the news report from WKRG, you'll see that he's in there saying that we need to get the Attorney General involved. Well, that's exactly what the petition that we started is all about, James. It is about getting the Attorney General involved, because I know that they're not going to tell on each other there in Monroe. So we need someone that's totally independent, some kind of internal investigation to come in here, independent of Andrews, not giving a squat about what he thinks, but going in and saying, look, let me pull your records. Have these officers been involved? Give me the name of the officers. Have they been involved in anything else? Like what? Because we need someone to make sure that it is not a pattern that's going on in Monroeville where their rights are being violated. And that's what oversight can do. They can go in there and do stuff that Andrews, because obviously Andrews is not going to go up against his police officers. Right?
And it appears that Mandy doesn't even go against her own officers either. She's compromised himself. And if we're going to talk about what we talked about before on this broadcast, I'm game for that too.
Well, let's talk about Mandy. Mandy's a coach.
Mandy is a coach. Mandy's a coach over at Alabama Coastal. She has a full-time sale. I don't know if it's full-time because, they don't play through a full season. But she is employed by Alabama Coastal, which they changed hands. It was Southern Alabama University. All right. And then she's also a chief of police, which is considered a 24/7 job. The Ethics Commission for municipalities lists being a chief of police a 24/7 job. And it's against ethics to hold another position because you as a chief, who knows what pops off? Is there a bank robbery? Is there a murder? Is there a horrific traffic accident, an active shooter? All right. And I'm going to tell you straight up, I've watched Mandy Armstrong buy cocaine from one of her snitches in police uniform myself. With my own eyes and my wife. We've both seen it. And we both popped out. Because, see, let me back up a little bit. When I first moved to this town, all right,
Woo!
I was
You gotta give
selling.
me a minute. You gotta give me a minute. You just brushed over that. We gotta go back because
Yeah,
that took me up. Okay, you're telling me you,
me.
Stephen Schiller,
I will
with
swear over a Bible to God, and I do right now, and over
while
every
she
single thing
was
that I love.
while she was chief of police in uniform.
Not chief of police. She was a drug investigator. She wasn't chief at that time yet.
Okay, the current chief of police, when
Current chief
she
of
was
police.
a drug investigator, you saw. Well, maybe she was undercover.
No, she was in her uniform, and she was driving her police cruiser when she went to the house to score the dope.
You saw
And
it.
yes, I was at that man's house. His name was Derek Hollinger. He was one of her snitches and would sign fake affidavits to get Alfred Carter to kick in people's doors. He was the one who signed a fake affidavit on me. The reason why I was at this man's house is I do door-to-door care. I fix people's cars. I fix their computers. And word of mouth, I mean, I move around the entire county. And that's what I do for a living. And I mean, I still kind of do it now. I mean, I've gotten a little bit old and fat in my years. But back then, you figure I was just in my mid-20s, 27. I mean, I still had a lot of energy in me. And I was fixing an alternator on his car. And he invited me and my wife in because she would travel with me and help me out fix things. And he invited me and he's like, man, it's hot outside. Do you want a beer? I'm like, yeah, sure, man. I'll drink a beer, man. And we're sitting on a couch and his phone rings. And he's like, oh, man, the police are on their way. And I'm like, what? Whatever you got going on, I'll see you later. No, man. She's a friend of mine. It's all cool. It's fine. I'm like, me and my wife looked at each other and we're like, okay. Well, if you're not comfortable being around, the law and whatnot, you could go in the bathroom until she leaves. Me and my wife were like, you know what? We looked at each other. This might be interesting. So we took the bathroom option and we sat in the bathroom. And the next thing you know, we hear some chatter. And then what comes walking around the corner is Mandy. Me and my wife looked at each other like, oh, what? That's Mandy. And I cracked the door open a little bit because in that hallway, it's a direct line inside into the kitchen. So me and her got like Scooby-Doo in the gang, looking around the corner. And they both go inside of his kitchen. He opens up a cabinet. He pulls out a scale. He pulls out a big bag of what I believe is coke. I mean, most of us here in this county know that she likes cocaine. All right. That's not a secret. All right. Like, I kid you not. A lot of people know. A lot of ex-law enforcement knows. All right. A good many of my contacts and sources know. All right. Half of the dang county knows. All right. That she's got a drug. Well, I don't know if she still has a drug problem, but she did then. I mean, what better way to get into the side of narcotics when you like to get in the sauce and the paint yourself. But my point is that while she was in uniform, driving her city cop car, it was the Ford Expedition, the black one, and she had two chicks from Coastal with her, all right, probably 21, 20 years old. I mean, they were very young, all right. She wanted to go get a sack. So she went over to her snitch's house that feeds her information while she allows to operate. Keep in mind, Derek was just let out of federal prison for a murder that went bad over a bad drug deal. He got acquitted for the murder, all right, but still had parole paper to do for the drug deal. So he wasn't back in Monroe County for more than maybe a year or 2 years or so. Now, the reason why I got to learn all this information is that when Mandy set us up, all right, with Mike Kennedy and Alfred Carter all these years. Now, keep in mind, that not more than 10 days elapsed from the day that we watched her buy cocaine. And by the way, we jumped out the bathroom and yelled surprise. When she was walking back from buying the coke from him, I looked at my wife and I said, look, man, at the count of 3, we're going to jump out and yell surprise. As soon as she walked and cleared the threshold of the door, surprise! Oh, hey, Mandy, how you doing? Cat's out the bag now. I said, oh, sit down.
So
and I went,
wait a minute. She saw you. She knows that you saw her.
Absolutely, she does. She's begged me for years not to say nothing about it.
So why are you saying something about it now?
Because if I don't say something and all the illegal, disgusting, crooked-ass crap they keep doing out of that police station, like killing people, if I don't say something about it now, I'm just as bad as they are.
So she's probably going to see this show or be told that you brought this out. Does that concern you?
No, I got to go to the police station tomorrow. I won't doubt that she says hi, and probably not necessarily hi, but
Okay, so I want to talk about what James is saying here. He's saying that's what ORs are for, and I also work with the Institute for Justice, ACLU, Epic, Texas, FOI, EFF, Big Dogs, and Pro Bono. Wow, I know about the ACLU. I've been, tagging them on a lot of my posts. So thank you so much. Like, this is great. He says no petition is needed. Wow, he can get it without. So you can do stuff even the state representative couldn't do, because he couldn't even get Mayor Andrews to call him back.
no.
Okay.
They're all hiding from everybody. Like, someone turned the water on, they don't know how to shut it off.
Because I couldn't understand that. Because my thing is, when we have higher officials, the people that represent the state, he's over Mayor Andrews. Well, I know that Mayor's direct boss is the Attorney General, right?
Correct.
That's the order of things. But you would think that as a representative, you should be able to say something and make
for
it
the
happen.
district. Yeah, for the district,
listen,
you
man,
think.
I need you to get that body cam footage. It's been long enough. We're going to be looking at 90 days on June 30th. You mean to tell me y'all haven't given anything? They haven't said anything to the family, have made no statement, no real statement.
No real statement.
It was BS. That was statement, Mandy's. I don't know who told you to write that statement, Mandy, but you should fire them.
She might have been high that day.
They should be. That's what oversight is about. And guys, this is exactly what I do. Literally, God had to bring me to this life. Listen, I know I pray we pray on this show. I know I pray before we go live, because I know that God is able. I know he is when you're faithful. And I'm telling you, I said there's got to be somebody that can help us. There has to be. And look at God. So I am very grateful to you, James. I can't wait till we chat. He says he can do it without a petition.
Well, look, you got to think, James. You got to think, James, that Mandy, all right, shortly after we watched her and surprised her, busted her wide open in uniform buying cocaine, she paid for and bought a sworn oath to get a no-knock warrant and kick my front door in and drag me and my wife out of bed at gunpoint, all right, and then held us in jail for an entire year, all right, with zero evidence, nothing. They painted us on the front page of the newspaper for weeks. We still have one of the originals sitting in our other house, that we are the largest synthetic and controlled substances sellers and dealers in the county. All right. And they did a media ride along. All right. We all know how unconstitutional that is. They brought the newspaper with them when they kicked in our front door.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't realize that part. I didn't realize that. Ooh. So James says he just messaged his advocate group. They call themselves the A-Team. We're going to tackle it. Look at that. I'm excited. I'm telling you.
I need to talk to the A-Team.
He said he's going to teach us since he can't be. That's what I'm talking about. Show a sister what to do. That's what I want to know. I want to know how it should work, James, because we can help more people in Monroeville, because they come to us, and I want to make sure that I'm telling them the right thing. Because we're just tired of this. I mean, if you haven't seen that movie, Just Mercy, go watch it, James, because that movie was from Monroeville, this town we're talking about, okay? And you
some of the people in that movie I dealt with personally when they tried to set me up. They set me up just like Johnny D. McMillan.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I say we got to tackle the system. Do you think the dash cam or body cam caught it? We can request. Yes.
Yes, we know it did. They turned in their body cams.
From the moment they started chasing T, let me just give you the skinny of it, James. They saw him. There was a call that was placed, something about domestic violence. This is all based on Mandy's statement. And they located him in the Clausell area, and they chased him, okay? He was running on foot. I don't know if I'm assuming they got out and started running as well. And they ran into the woods, okay? When he came out of the woods, he was already on his knees, according to Selena, who was on the show last week. He was already on his knees looking out of it, okay? There are witnesses that said they heard him yelling for his life in those woods. They heard him yelling for help, That's all on the news media. This has all been covered. And there are people that say they heard him saying, I can't breathe. I need water. Give me some water. Okay. So then what you witness is that video at that point of them dragging him. Okay. His legs were dragging. And then during that dragging, you'll see where his head drops. His head drops during that.
He goes lifeless.
He goes lifeless. So they take him into the car. They put him in the car face down, according to Selena last week.
They don't forget they dragged him for half a block with one of his bare feet in the concrete. And he didn't make the first look. While this man's being dragged across rough concrete for half of a block, all right, he doesn't not one time try to pick his feet up or move. I'm telling you right now, any one of us have our soft meat, the top of our foot being dragged across rough cheese grating concrete. We're going to try to pick our foot up. This man was literally dragged lifeless for half a block and heave-ho, thrown into the back seat of a Tahoe, face down, face into the seat.
And then she also said that once they had him in that vehicle, they didn't leave right away. And then when they did leave, they didn't go in the direction of the jail. No. They went in an entirely different direction, turned around, and then
at a dead end,
wasting time or something, right?
Yep.
And also, I want you to.
And they left without their lights on. But when they came back going the right way again, now they had their lights on, but they weren't speeding. They weren't going fast. They were just blah da 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 da.
I want you to explain to him about this insurance as to the reason you believe that they did not take him to the hospital, because they took him to the jail. They could clearly see the man needed help, but they took him to the jail. And Stephen offered his narrative. Your narrative. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. He offered his narrative on why he believed that. So tell him that, and about the city council and all that too.
Well, from what I know, and I've spoke about this with a lot of my constituents over the years, the Monroeville Police Department does not have casualty insurance, all right, or what's called casualty municipal insurance, and that covers anything medical with inmates that you have in custody over at the jail. See, our jail has inmate health coverage, all right, because they house a lot of people. Well, we also, as a municipality, house people in that jail as well, but we have no coverage. We have no medical coverage for them in that jail whatsoever. All right, they don't have any medical coverage for any of the people that they bring into custody. And they constantly, like clockwork, if you have any type of debilitating or any type of, warning, health, bad heart, maybe stage 1 cancer, or, whatever. I mean, if you have anything that needs medical care, that you need to see a doctor regularly, they'll give you an I bond, they'll book you out, they'll give you the cheapest bond they could give you, all right, and sign you out to jail because the city doesn't have insurance. All right, well, this isn't the first time that Monroeville has taken people that they have a hold on, but then they also know the county has a hold on them too. Well, they'll go put them into the jail because they know they got a hold as well. Their insurance kicks in over them. So then they can let that person on their side, the municipality side, sit there for as long as that jurisdiction holds. Mind you, there's a gentleman that just last month, he was in one of those situations. He has a heart condition and he has to see the doctor regularly, and he's been getting taken care of. Well, the county released his hold. He's free to go, but then he still had a hold with the magistrate's office, the city PD. Well, Pat Bowen said, well, we're not paying for that. Oh, yes, you are. If you're going to keep him in our jail, you're paying for it. We're not doing that. No. They went and released him immediately that day. So now to Mr. Tunstall, they know that he had a county hold. He had a petty county warrant, no big deal. All right. They knew that if they could get his body and release him inside of that jail, any type of medical problem that he may be having is going to be taken care of by the jail and the jail staff. Any hospital visit, ER, anything that happens with that man medically will be paid for by the county's insurance policy that they have. Well, guess what? In my particular opinion, that since they know they don't have insurance and they secretly train these cops, this isn't a written policy. This is handed down from the council and the mayor's office, and they teach these officers to not engross yourself with people that are having medical conditions. God forbid if someone's having a heart attack while you're trying to arrest them, call the paramedics first. Don't take them into custody. All right. Wait till they get out of the hospital, then pick them up. So that way they eat the bill. Well, since he was unresponsive and he was in their care, they know that if they get Tunstall into the jail and let him go, well, any type of medical coverage that they need to care for or pay for, they don't have to worry about it. Well, that, and just so we can continue on this, what you don't know, because he hasn't seen it yet, the jail staff denied entry into the jail because they saw he was lifeless and knew that he needed emergency medical care right then and there. All right. So what I believe happened is that once they noticed that he wasn't moving, he was unresponsive. All right. They knew that they just had a massive medical bill on their behalf, and they're trained, don't get medical bills. So what do? They take him to the jail. All right. And they tried to drag his lifeless body out of the car. And the jail staff, the ladies there, saw that they were dragging pretty much a dead guy out of their truck. Whoa, no, they shut the door and they're like, we're calling EMS. Y'all need to call. He needs an ambulance right now. You're not taking him into the jail. So my opinion and what I believe is part of this, and probably one of the main things, is the council has been warned many a times. Your area has grown exponentially. You're dealing with more people in the populace. See, once upon a time, just 17, 18 years ago, we only had like 5 squad cars. All right. We had a very small police footprint for the municipality of Monroeville. Well, as they have widened out the boundaries, the jurisdiction, they have swallowed more people they deal with on the daily. All right. So with that being said, all right, because they have not got the insurance that they've been told to get. All right. They've had meetings about this and they're like, oh, no, well, we're going to be all right. We're just not going to hold them that long. We'll get rid of them, whatever. Well, they've been warned, if someone dies in your custody or someone has a really, really dangerous medical episode in your hands, you're lacking the insurance because you're taking custody of them. You're arresting them and you're going to be holding them in a jail. All right. Well, since you don't have an insurance policy with the jail, you've never made a charter, all right, to link yourself to that insurance policy at the jail, you're stuck eating every single bill that goes out on that man, all right, because that just falls into prisoners' rights too. You can't deny a confined person medical care. Well, guess what? Medical care costs money. And while you're a confined person, you're at the mercy of the people holding your corpus. So right. with that being said, I personally believe, because these cops are trained, all right, avoid medical, do not get medical bills. Well, we'll just take this guy to the jail, screw going to the hospital. And from what Cynthia told us, she had the jail app, she had the scanner app open, and she was listening to the airwaves. Shortly after they passed her, she heard it come on over the airwaves, possible OD, need Narcan. Well, why did you go all the way the wrong way towards the dead end, sit there for a couple of minutes, then come back? Well, here's where this narrative shifts. It is plausible with her testimony and what was heard coming over the radio. The cop didn't even make it to the jail yet, and he was already making out a warning call. I have an unresponsive person, may need Narcan. Why would you still go to the effing jail and not take this person immediately to the hospital? You're a cop. You got lights. You got sirens. You're able to blow through red lights. If you got an unresponsive dying person in the back of your car, why would you have not taken that man directly to the hospital? Because you don't got the money to pay for his care.
Group chat as soon as this live is over. You better believe it, buddy. Listen, this is why we're so passionate about this, James, because we see all of this, and Stephen and I talk a lot about this, and we're like, I can't believe that people can't see this. Like, we have so much to be upset about. This is crazy how they did, and they need to know it is not acceptable. And I know they're watching the broadcast, so hello, City Council, hello, Mayor and Chief. we welcome you to the Ella Johnson Show. You guys are welcome to come here and offer. Let's talk whatever you need to do with us. I am open.
I would love Mandy to come out on the show and say that she never did cocaine and I never seen anything and I'm a liar. That would be an interesting show.
I don't think she's going to do that.
I don't think she's going to do that either.
I don't think she's going to come on the show at all. But they just need to know. Y'all heard what James said. Keep it alive. This is exactly why. This is exactly why we work so hard to try to come up with a different show every week, because we have to keep doing this. I know they're trying to just prolong it until we get tired. Well, we don't get tired. We don't get tired. You know, no. We don't get tired.
And I have something to say too, and because I don't want any of the people that have come to us, you know, privately, and we all respect your confidentiality. And when the time is right, and you guys give us the permission that we can publicly talk about what you brought to us, we're going to, and we respect your privacy. But we do want to thank, and I'm not trying to speak for Ella, but I'm speaking for myself. We appreciate all the calls and everybody that has come into her and me. All right, and whenever you guys finally, you feel after you've talked to your attorneys, you know, or whatever you need to make yourself right, all right, and it's time that you want to be public, we have no problem in speaking and discussing what you've already told us confidentiality. So just know that we have not forgot you, nor will we forget you. And whenever it's right for you, all right, to come and talk to us on this show, we got wide open doors for you. We want to hear it. We want to get it out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, there is one that they said that I can mention it, but just keep their name anonymous. But there's a situation where a young man was tased while in handcuffs. This happened this month, like a week or so ago, in Monroeville.
I know. It's
handcuffed and then tased 2 more times.
And we think that it's also we're thinking from what was told to us that we believe that it's also the cops that are still on the force that had, you know, what they dealt with Mr. Tunstall. Is that correct?
Which is why, Mayor Andrews, you made a mistake bringing them back, just so you'll know. I mean, you guys wanted us to wait until the investigation was over to talk. You wanted us to just stay quiet. Just let the SBI do their job, Ella. Don't say anything.
That you used to work for and have nothing but very deep constituencies inside of SBI. All right. How do we think that we're going to get any kind of real transparency or real work being done when you retired and went to the top of SBI? All right. And you don't, and some of these people that you're talking to, you trained them. All right. The people that are investigating the Tunstall matter. All right. Some of them are people that Mayor Andrews trained himself personally. So how are we supposed to believe, all right, that we're ever going to get any real transparency from anyone? And that's why I'm begging, and I hope that some Fed, FBI, Department of Justice, somebody comes across these episodes. It's Monroeville, Alabama. Monroeville, Monroeville, Monroeville City, Monroeville, Alabama. The home of To Kill a Mockingbird. So my point is I'm still have some very severe reservations along with some of my other constituencies, because we know how deep he got into SBI. All right, that are we going to get some really clear work being done? All right, in the benefit of the family and Mr. Tunstall, and what happened to these cops when this guy used to be these people's boss, and now he's got a dead body on his hands. Do you think that maybe Mayor Andrews has got some contacts, some people to call that'll help him out in a jam? This is a pretty big jam, and if I was a betting man, I would bet that he does. And there's many people that I speak to that know about this and feel very conflicted because he and SBI together, because he is the boss of Mandy, and this man died in his custody because he's the mayor, all right? And he also was the head of SBI. Is there not some conflict there between him and SBI?
Yes, that's exactly why.
There's a big conflict there.
This is what I think, Stephen. I think that the reason Mayor Andrews brought those guys back, because he knows how they're going to rule. He knows they're going to say those guys are not responsible for T's death, and that's why he let them come back. Has there been any meeting with the city of Monroeville and the people that live there? No.
No. We've done more meeting with the people in Monroeville than they have.
And say it, right?
I mean, that's why we're here. Look, we wouldn't even probably be having this show if they were doing what they were supposed to.
I have come on here and I've repeatedly made requests and pled out to Miss McDaniel. Thelma McDaniel is the city council that represents the area where this happened. And we have repeatedly come to this show and said, guys, that's what y'all can do. Have a meeting, call it. But she doesn't have to be the city council member that does it. There are other city council members. Call some kind of public hearing so the people can come in and ask questions. Simple. And then in the meantime, she can go and get that police manual to see what they're supposed to do in cases of emergency. Because I'm sure they got some kind of protocol for that, or APOSTC does. So this is why I'm glad you asked that question, Doris, but no, there's been nothing. We are talking about this on the Ella Johnson show.
Their protocol is to lie and cover up.
Yeah. That's why it's so frustrating. Yes, working together is key, but there's a fine line. Once they don't want to comply at all, that's where all you have left is using the law against them. You guys are public servants. If you are watching, expect me in your inbox tomorrow. That's what I'm talking about. That's it. I'm telling you, I knew it. I knew it. God is able. What? All right. I'm over in Conroe, Texas. Yes. I don't know where that is, but I know Texas. I know about Texas.
Yeah, I used to live in League City outside of Galveston.
Yeah, we know about Texas. Texas is,
Yeah.
But listen, guys, a lot of you have been watching and following this, and I know how you guys feel. There are a lot of you that are like, you know what, Ella, we had to talk about this. It had to come out, but we got to do more than that. Real talk. We're going to have to put their feet to the fire. It is time for us to, and I don't care if everybody doesn't. I don't care. I need the ones that believe in it to come. We'll worry about those other folks later. They don't realize they're going to probably need it also. But for those of you who will, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do whatever is necessary to bring justice for T. What else have we missed that we haven't told James? Because it's almost like because there's some key things in this.
Well, there's the Cynthia lady that we had on the show, the cousin. Selena. She was pulled over and targeted by one of the officers shortly after. She was on the way to the hospital, and she was pulled over for absolutely no reason. Then they searched her car, all right, for absolutely no reason. No drug dog. Didn't get permission to search it. So, I mean, they committed an illegal search and seizure of her vehicle, all right, and that was just for harassment, all right. Then my wife, all right, same officers, by the way, all right, targeted my wife shortly after our show, within a few days, and pulled my wife over. All right, well, she's going one way, 40 miles an hour in traffic, and the other guys he immediately did a U-turn in traffic without his lights on, by the way, and then stalked my wife for 6-7 blocks with no lights on, and then just decided to pull her over when she's just literally like a block and a half down from where we live. All right, so I have already got the first taste, all right, of harassment and stalking. Selena got her fair share of it, all right, and to be honest, I mean, now here I am talking about Mandy's cocaine usage, and let alone all the countless drugs she stole, all right. There's actually some cases that if someone goes and looks, there's an ounce of cocaine that went missing that turned into a gram, and the judge had to throw that case out because he came out in the middle of court and said, wait a minute, I had a whole ounce, Your Honor. If y'all are going to arrest me and bust me for some drugs, let's go ahead and have it real. I had a whole entire ounce in my possession, not a gram. And whoop, that case now that was with Steve Waddlington, and that case got dismissed immediately that hour and was set free. And guess who got a hold of him? Mandy. All right. So what I'm getting at is after this show, I won't be surprised if I get pulled over every day of the week now. All right. And if I do, I hope that all you know that there's a lot of people watching. So I would really please ask that you guys stay over there. All right. You guys did what you did. all you guys are corrupt. You watch each other's back. You do nothing but illegal things every day. You're harassing people in the community for no reason. I mean, we've already gotten reams of contacts of people that have here recently, all right, that you guys are not doing the right thing with, all right. And well, when they get done talking to their attorneys and get the green light, you're going to hear about that next.
It's tight, but it's right. Listen, we want to yield results. That we're not here, just for the fun of it. We want justice for T. We want his case to be one they will never forget in Monroe County. That this was the case that people finally stood up and said, enough is enough. This is not new, guys, in Monroeville. And I hear, because there are a lot of stuff I don't know about what's going on in Monroeville because I don't live there anymore. But I hear the little rumblings and some of the stuff I hear from you, Stephen, about this and this. And I'm like, wait a minute, this stuff happened? And they're just like, yeah, Ella, this is nothing new. We only know about T because it was on video.
Yes.
Imagine if it wasn't on
Oh my
video.
God. That's a big deal. And that's why we've said here before that, I mean, we would have just been chicken scratching at the fence post if we didn't have the video. I mean, we would be doing nothing but talking about hearsay and conjecture, And that's why I bring up what I bring up on Mandy, the Dozier death. All right, that is what many of us in the community believe was a cover-up. Someone covered up his murder, and the people that were involved was Mayor Andrews and Mandy. And then you got Mandy, which I have seen personally, consume cocaine, all right, and purchase it in uniform. So how can we believe that a drug abuser, a cover-upper, all right, is going to do anything correctly by the law, all right, and the oaths that she swore to be an officer, all right, in the matter of Tee Tunstall? So that's where I have some very severe reservations. And then on top of that, we got cops that should be on leave right now that are still running around the community terrorizing people, and we're getting calls about it every other day.
Real talk. You summed that up very well. That's what it is. These guys are still involved in some stuff in Monroe.
Yeah, big stuff.
Yeah, you should have kept them. And then they tried to say that the reason they brought the officers back was what did Mayor Andrews say? We need cops. There's so much.
Yeah, we need cops. Yeah, well, why did so many good cops leave as soon as Mandy got sued her way into office? All right, and I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, because I play politics a little bit, I kind of assumed that Ray Sellers went over to the sheriff's office, and then Brian House is running for sheriff because they're trying to run from Mandy. I don't believe that's the case now. And the reason why I'm saying this now, all right, and I've been waiting because we keep hearing crickets. We know that there's definitely some cover-up going on, if not a lot of cover-up with Tunstall, all right. I know that there's a cover-up going on with the Dozier death, all right. And how deeply rooted Mayor Andrews and Brian House and Mandy is to their constituents, whoever they may be out there, all right. I don't believe they're running for Mandy. I believe they're trying to play a coup against the county. See, but when Boatwright got in and I ran Tom Tate out of town, he had to retire because everything I brought out against him, it left a vacuum. They needed Alfred. Alfred was the kingpin kahuna doing all the illegal all the illegal stuff with Mandy. All right. They were the two biggest corrupt people in this entire area. Now, Alfred Carter tried to move himself into the sheriff's office. Well, guess what? If you got Mandy in control of the police department and then Alfred in control of the entire county, that's a perfect union. Oh, man, we're talking about Tony Montana, Scarface level proportions of corruption. All right. Now, this is just an opinion and a narrative, but I'm watching the pieces move across the board. And I believe, and this is an opinion, but I do believe that Ray Sellers has left to go over to the sheriff's office because he's expecting Brian House to be his new boss. Mind you, Ray Sellers worked for the MPD for the entire time he's lived here when he moved from Michigan. He has been an MPD employee and went through several administrations. Why all of a sudden now, towards the end of his retirement, if he hasn't already pulled his numbers now, moved over to the sheriff's office? Because I believe the Republican Party, all right, that here, the Republican constituencies, all right, are betting on the big red wave, and Brian House is going to win the vote just because of straight party voters. Brian House is not someone that we need to be in charge of the sheriff's office. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is that I believe that they're not running from Mandy. We got a mayor that's been covering stuff up, allowing all kinds of nastiness go on. We have a chief of police that are not managing our officers, that's already violating our own code of ethics from the state, all right, is heavily conflicted, a drug user, all right, and the whole county knows about that, but she's still the chief of police. Someone's are placing people in positions for control and lockdown of the entire county. So I believe that Brian House has been selected to move over to take over the sheriff's office, because Brian House has always been this with Mandy. Brian House isn't going to change anything. I personally believe if Brian House gets in, he's probably going to be just like Alfred Carter. I don't believe that Brian House is what we need for a community.
Here's my thing, though, Stephen. Real talk. Me personally, I don't really care about that. Let me tell you why. Because I just had a person come on the show here that's not happy with what's going on at the sheriff's office, right?
Right. So we've got a couple of them too.
As far as I'm concerned, I think there needs to be reform across the board in Monroe County. The good ones stay and get rid of the ones that are not doing anything.
Right.
Ones that are proven to be doing their job, then there you go.
Well, all I'm getting at is that I'm just bringing it up on the show because I believe that, Brian House was one of the first people on the scene with Dozier, death. All right.
Oh.
And I mean, again, I'm bringing that up again. He is conflicted. So all I'm getting at is that look at what we're dealing with Mayor Andrews and just the police department. Can you imagine if the power from the police department shifts over to the sheriff's office? That's completely lockdown. All right, game over for all of us.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I agree that there's something that needs to be done, but I'm not willing to bet on anybody right now. Not until we get justice fatigue.
Well, that's true.
That's all I care about. Whoever can make sure we get that, they got my vote. Whoever that is, it makes me no difference. But you know what, Stephen, I think we're going to go ahead and get out of here so that you and I can talk with James.
Yes.
What do you think? Is there anything that you wanted is there anything else that you wanted to say about Dozier or anything else before we go?
The people that do watch this show, which there's many people from very far away places and important people that watch this show, all right, a lot of the corruption that has went down in this town, all right, starts with Dozier. And it's not from Dozier. Dozier's not the one who did it, all right? What I'm getting at is that if not just Tunstall, the people that are involved with the Tunstall matter are also involved in the Dozier matter. And if somebody actually starts beating the right drum and investigating this man's death and starts seeing that he didn't kill himself, if he didn't kill himself, why is Mandy and Brian House and Ray Sellers and our mayor, Andrews, saying that he didn't, look the other way, nothing ever happened? Because we're dealing with the same thing with Tunstall. No one's wanting to say everything. Everybody's running from it. And then again, Mayor Andrews making the complete buffoon decision to place these officers back on duty. And we're already getting new reports in that, well, they're up to the same old no good things, messing with people and doing things that they shouldn't whatsoever. So I think it
started way before Dozier, though. There's a system in Monroeville that says we're not going to give justice to certain races of people in this city, no matter what. We're going to say that we're incompetent and nobody's talking, Ellis. So, because I've been in this thing a long time in Monroeville, and what I'm seeing now is nothing different than that I did 10 years ago when we did a protest there. It's the same stuff.
Well, just know that all the money that flows into this county comes from the timber industry. Just remember that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, guys, we've had another show. What happened tonight? That the miracle that happened before our eyes, it looks like we got somebody that wants to help us. So Stephen and I are going to end this broadcast so that we can talk with him so it's not too late. Because we're on the same time zone as Texas, right? Yeah, I think so.
No, he's earlier than you. He's another hour ahead of me.
Yeah, that's right. So
keep the reports coming in. Keep the reports coming in. We want to know.
Keep it coming in. But you guys will see me again on Thursday night. I'll be right here on the Ella Johnson Show with Dr. Barbaretta Turner Pugh for Monroe County Uncovered. We're going to keep looking into that. I want you guys to keep messaging me if you have questions. Please share the broadcast, guys. We need your feedback on these shows and what we can do. And if there are any of you that want to assist in any way whatsoever, if we need to get stuff out, because we're going to find out what we should be doing when we talk to James. But if we need some of your assistance, please be readily and openly available to help us, whatever we need to do to get justice for T. Sharon. Just so you'll know, show's dedicated to you and your family. We love you, and we are going to keep fighting and keep talking. Y'all have a great evening and have a great week. And we'll see you next time. I'll start that chat right now, Stephen and James. All right, soon as we go. All right, guys, have a great evening. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Ella Johnson Show. We'll see you next time.
We are supporters of the Ella Johnson Show. We live in South Korea. We have been watching Ella Johnson's show for like a year now. And we love her show. Her show is very inspirational, motivational, and educational.
If you would like to be a guest on the Ella Johnson Show, send an email to theellajohnsonshow@gmail.com or send a text message to 407-334-6997.
We love Ella Johnson Show.